Well, good morning. Today is Monday, March 18th. And this upcoming Saturday evening, I have a friend getting into town. And before she gets in, I want to finish draft 6 of Project DE. We are picking right up from where I left off in my last vlog. I literally ended that vlog last night, posted this morning. And now we are on to editing the ending, or the rest of the ending of draft 6 of DE before I take a week off, basically. And in theory, I also take that week off between drafts. Before then, I start my reread of draft 7 to just kind of like make some tiny tweaks and stuff and, you know, add in some character names and replace all of the placeholders and the yellow highlighted portions that I still have. Hopefully that is not going to be a very long process because draft 6 has been a very heavy revision, which I think has been really good for the story. But all that being said, I want to be done by this upcoming weekend, which seems crazy. And honestly, I should have looked before I got in my car of how many pages that is, but maybe it's better that I don't know right now. I did start off my morning by pulling over the chapters that I have been rewriting and plugging that back into my actual draft 6 document. And now I'm headed to the gym. It is Monday, so I will have my writing group later, and I'm really excited to get a lot done. Also, hi, if I haven't said that already, I'm Sara Lubratt. I am currently working on draft 6 of my high fantasy project that I call Project DE. It's written from 3 points of view. It has sapphic characters and animal companions, and dragons and magic and all of those fun things. So if you go on to enjoy the rest of the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up button. And now, without further ado, let's get into finishing the effing draft. My workout went great, and then I ran some errands because I always try to do that when I'm coming back from the gym. It just kind of like streamlines my day, and I've started making dinner, and so now I have about 2 hours until I leave for writing group. I have some freelancing that I want to do in that span of time, but before I do that, I want to I don't really want to know how many words or how many pages I have left to edit, but I think that it would be helpful for me to know that information so that I can like work on breaking that up better across this upcoming week so that in theory, I can finish the effing draft. That would be really exciting. So I'm gonna try and count this up and just, you know, hopefully it's not that bad. I'm really hoping for like under 50 pages, but I'm not sure that's gonna be accurate. Is in sight. Let's go. So after adding up the words that I have left in draft 6, it's both more than I was expecting and less than I was expecting. Like, it definitely could have been worse, but I have 24,436 more words to edit until I'm done with draft 6. Probably a couple months ago, I want to say it was Finish the Effing Draft episode 3, I edited 20,000 words in a week, and I think that included like a day or two off. So in theory, just under 25,000 words might be possible. Is that a freaking ton of work? Yes. Is that like almost 5,000 words a day if we count today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? That's 6 days to accomplish this. I'm really glad I have writing group tonight. Just finishing up a little bit more, working on the chapters that I was working on tonight after writing group. Writing group went really well. I got a lot done, but I wanted to do my second pass on this chapter before I called it for tonight. But it is 11:24 p.m. and I know that I need to do some freelancing, so maybe this is going to be where I call it. The next chapter is only like 900 words, so like I could probably also do that tonight, so maybe I just don't say my word count yet. But on one of my recent videos, someone in the comments told me that if there's not like an obvious chunk of things that I need to cut out to lower my word count, that I can just like try cutting out like a sentence on every page. And I started trying to do that, and I was just starting to like cut out words that didn't feel necessary, and I was able to cut out a decent number of words considering that this is draft 6, a decent number of words, and I feel like that was really helpful advice and something that I will definitely be taking into consideration when I do my read through for draft 7. And the priority of draft 7 is going to be cutting down on word count, making sure that there aren't any glaring issues, and hopefully it will be a short-ish draft. Not like a short draft as far as words go, but hopefully the process will be short. So that's the update. I will talk to you guys in a little bit about whether or not I did the next chapter. You guys, look at where my little cursor is. It's gonna disappear. But look at that compared to my entire document. It is now 12:36 in the morning. I feel comfortable calling my editing for the evening now that I have hit where I've hit, and I ended up editing to today for 4 hours. I couldn't even tell you the last time I edited over 3 hours in a day, but this is kind of like the amount of hours that I'm going to be needing to hit over the next, over this upcoming week in order to hit my goal of 25,000 words. But that being said, I edited a clean 6,200 words in 4 hours. And then when I was at the gym, I also did 180 words for my Veil project. But 6,200 words edited today in 4 hours. It's a ton, but I feel really, really good about it. And I also cut out a bunch of words too. I should do the math on that. So the 6,200 words were from the original chapter counts before I went through and edited them. And the ending word count that I had was 5,420 words, which means that I was able to cut out 780 words, which honestly is probably close to the word count that I need to be cutting out, if not a little bit more than that. But that suggestion of trying to delete a sentence every page, I was doing a little bit more than that, but that was really helpful feedback for me to get. So over 6,000 words edited today, and absolutely incredible. I do have some more freelancing I want to get done tonight, so hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow for some more editing. All right, happy Tuesday. I started out my morning with doing some freelancing just so that I could get ahead because I am about to take my car in for service, and ideally I wanted to be as done with my freelancing for the day as possible. Even though I still have more I can do, I'm at a good stopping point. So while my car is in the shop, I can go to the library and get some writing done for the day, which I'm really excited about. So I guess that being said, I should take my car in. Okay, well, it took me an hour and 45 minutes, but I have 2,000 words done so far for the day now. It's 3:45. I will need to go pick up my car here again in a little bit, so I decided to come home and start making my dinner, hopefully so that I can, have that done by the time that I get back from the shop. So that's the hope. I do feel good about the writing that I got done. I think I was able to cut out 500 words of the 2,000 word long portion that I was working on. And now I think that it flows a lot better because this chapter just did not need to be that wordy. And we're cutting out words, which just needs to happen in general. Okay, whatever. My camera's tilted. I'm just, standing here chopping shallots, and I was just thinking, it was kind of beating myself up for, 2,000 words is not that many. I still have a lot to do today in order to hit my goal for the week. And then I was well, yes and no. 2,000 words is a ton, and that means that I'm currently sitting at 8,000 words done of my goal of 25,000, which means that I'm well over 1/5 of the way there. I would need to do the math to see if I'm at 1/4 of the way there yet. Probably, actually. And I was just trying to remind myself that I don't need to beat myself up because I am doing really good things, and worst case scenario is that I don't complete it by Saturday. And ultimately, even if that were the case, I'm going to put myself really, really close. So it's just your daily reminder to be a little nicer to yourself today, because I know I need it. Okay, change of plans. Car won't be done until tomorrow, so I have the rest of the evening to myself. Okay, so I'm sitting outside working on some of my chapters, and I just discovered that I have basically the same chapter twice, except they are written differently. So now I'm trying to combine those two chapters and basically just picking and choosing my favorite sentences from each one because they say essentially the same thing, but it will end up saving me on word count. My blue light glasses are going on, and now we're gonna get back to writing. Or editing, technically, I suppose, but same difference. Okay, so I finished combining those two chapters that were kind of the same thing. There was a part in the second chapter that actually was not in the first chapter, so I was able to move that over, and then I went back through a third time of that first chapter and did my little reread and the little fine-tooth editing. And I actually made a decision in that chapter that might require some more rewriting, and that is just not what I want to hear right now. But there's this character that I was considering killing off because he ultimately doesn't do that much in the story as it currently stands, and I was kind of annoyed by him. And then as I was working on these chapters, I realized that I could actually make him much more interesting and much more dislikable, which would be a lot of fun. However, that might mean that I have to either do some heavy edits or add another chapter after this one, or definitely do some rewriting. That will be part of it no matter what. Yay, because I'm never gonna get away from the rewriting. I will, theoretically by this weekend too, which would be really exciting. But I did want to mention, because I've gotten a lot of comments on this from people being like, Sarah, why on earth are you on draft 7 of your book? So in short, I have an entire video about this planned where I, hopefully after draft 7, because I just want draft 7 to be like a reread and just making sure that I'm not missing anything glaring and that like everything reads like smoothly. Fingers really crossed the draft 7 is like relatively quick and like just kind of like to make myself feel really good about the book. But theoretically after that, I'm planning on making a video where I go through and talk about what changed in every single one of my drafts of Project DE. Because I am on draft 6, I am planning on doing a draft 7, but hopefully draft 7 will be relatively short like I just mentioned. But a lot of people have been asking me like, why on earth are you rewriting in draft 7? So draft 1 took me 4 years to complete, might have been 3.5, but 3.5 or 4 years to complete. And most of that was when I was in school. So my writing was changing, my style was changing, I was becoming a better writer. So then draft 2 and 3 were basically trying to bring up the rough draft to where my writing skill was at that point in time. After draft 3, I had beta readers, and then I got my beta reader feedback and basically then decided to completely ignore the last half of the book through drafts 4 and 5 because I just wanted to line edit and I just want it to be done. So the first half of this book has seen a lot of help and a lot of improvement in my various drafts and everything, but drafts 4 and 5, I didn't touch the ending, which is why I'm having to rewrite because the story doesn't make sense. And like that was one of the biggest beta reader feedback things, is like there were things that were not satisfying. There was like a lot of dead space in the ending. And so it is becoming like much more interesting. So that's why I'm on draft 6. I will elaborate more when I make that video. So make sure that your post notifications are on for when I eventually post that. But that puts me at 4,468 words edited today so far, and it is 10:15 p.m. So there's lots more hours in the day. It is Tuesday though, and I'm starting to like stress out about the fact that my friend is coming into town this weekend and my apartment needs to be cleaned, and like I just have a bunch of things I want to do. So I'm going to take a little productive break. I'm going to stand up, I'm going to do some cleaning, I'm going to have a master class playing in the background, and then I will sit back down and do some more writing. Okay, I did just realize that me being at 4,400 words so far for the day means that I have now passed 10,000 words edited in the last 2 days towards my 25,000 word goal. And I want to do more tonight, so I'm excited. Now I'm feeling much better about, I still don't think I should have been beating myself up earlier, but I'm definitely feeling better about it now. I just got to a part where 2 POVs are going to overlap, and I didn't realize this when I was rewriting chapters, but I rewrote them in the wrong order so that something down here happens up here in this POV, but then what's down here happens up here, so it's like inverse, which means that I either need to change one POV or the other, and I don't know which one to change. I know what would work better for the story, but I don't know how to write that in a way that's compelling, like the actual prose of it, not the layout. Okay, so I just had a moment of like, I'll leave that for later this week, Sarah. Who would not be happy about that, by the way. And so then I moved on to the next chapter, which is where I would need to start rewriting for like the thing that I had talked about earlier about making a character more dislikable. So I'm kind of stuck between rewriting and rewriting at this point, and it feels too late for this. I've already done too much editing, but I'm going to try and do a little bit, or at least like get started so that I have a jumping off point for tomorrow. Okay, so I basically ended up deleting the chapter that needs to be rewritten because what was written in that chapter as it currently stands no longer fits with the ending. And so I basically just ended up deleting it, but I don't know if I should count those words for today or not because I have a feeling I'm going to include like half of it in a later chapter that I'm going to have to like rewrite and bulk up because it's still, I think it's still like decent enough dialogue. And obviously when I get to the rewriting, I really thought I was done with rewriting, but when I get to the rewriting for adding that back in, then I can like go through and make tweaks and stuff. But I basically just deleted that chapter, and I feel like I shouldn't count those words if they're gonna be added back in, because then I basically like didn't deal with them tonight despite me reading through it and deciding to remove it, because basically if that's part of the 25,000 that I'm trying to deal with this week and I'm going to have to deal with it later this week, then I should probably not count it. Okay, well that's a bummer, but I do think that that sounds like the right decision, which means that I ended up editing for 3 hours and 40 minutes today and ended up editing 4,468 words, which does put me over 10,000 words so far into my 25,000-ish word goal for this week. That might be more if I end up rewriting some things. I was really hopeful I was done with the rewriting, but I'm still gonna give this my best shot, and I'm gonna get as far as possible and still try to finish on or before Saturday. Saturday. But with that, it's midnight and I'm really tired and I kind of want to just lean into that and start getting ready for bed. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. It's now Wednesday. I am starting to feel a little overwhelmed about all of the things that I'm trying to accomplish before I leave town. I'm technically leaving town on Monday, but my friend gets in on Saturday, so not even like before I leave town on Monday. I'm trying to get stuff done before she gets here on Saturday, which like it's just adding up. I just had like 2 more people book with me on Fiverr today, which is a wonderful thing. Very excited to work with them, but at the same time, that's just more stuff I have to do before my friend gets here. I've been up for a little while. I've been working on a Fiverr order, one of the ones that was already in my queue. And then while I was having breakfast, I was watching a masterclass and my therapy session is about to start. My car is still in the shop. So at some point today, I'll need to go pick that up theoretically, which is, you know, good that it's getting fixed because I am driving for my trip. And so thankfully that means that my car won't hopefully have any issues while I'm, you know, driving. So yeah, I'm just starting to feel like a little overwhelmed. And I don't know if that means that I need to like get out of my space today and go back to the library or a coffee shop or something, or if I need to cancel my social plans that I normally have on Wednesday nights so that I can focus on working. I probably should, but I haven't done that yet. So I just kind of feel like there's a lot going on and I still need to like clean my apartment more. I just get so nervous about like hosting someone in my space that like everything is gonna need to be spotless. So yeah, that's the update for today so far. I'm sure it's gonna go great. I did write down yesterday after I got into bed an idea of how I could fix those 2 POVs that I was talking about where like something down here happens up here and the other person's POV and the thing down here happens up here. I think I could just delete this event so that this still happens and then this is still like, you know, then we can like make those even. Or I need to flip what's happening in one of the POVs so that that like lines up better. But I did come up with a couple ways that I could do that, which would be great. So hopefully today that means implementing one of those few things. I don't know if you guys can hear that clicking in the background, but my power went out and now the lights are on a generator, but nothing else in my apartment is working. And my oven is like clicking. And so I think I'm definitely gonna have to leave my space here soon because it's getting really annoying. Okay, a little update. I was rather emotional after therapy, and then I finished a Fiverr order that I was working on. The power went out like 3 or 4 hours ago, so my microwave, my oven, my stove, and my fridge and freezer don't have power right now, and I think everything else is either running on a backup generator or because I live in an apartment complex, certain appliances blew out. I'm not totally sure how any of that works. I'm just trying to regurgitate what my dad said. So I just got back from picking up my car and Chipotle because I can't cook anything right now, and it's kind of been like an emotionally heavy day. It just feels like I'm very overwhelmed and there's a lot going on, and I'm trying to prioritize finishing my book this week, but I also like have other responsibilities, and I'm trying to figure out which of those responsibilities I can offload to after my birthday trip and which of them I need to do now and how I need to stack those things with trying to finish this draft. And so that's kind of the update. Really happy to have my car back. That's already making me feel better. I know I'll feel better after eating, but I think I just need to like drink a lot more water and kind of chill out. It's 5:07 p.m. I did not go to the library. I think it closes in a couple hours, so I'm honestly not sure if I'm gonna make it there today or not. There are coffee shop options that I could go to, but I might just be like really content being on my couch tonight. Okay, my computer is currently charging and my phone is about to die too, but it's nearly sunset. I'm hopeful that I'm gonna get to catch a little bit of the sunset. I just need to be outside. So I'm gonna take some paper and a pen outside and I'm gonna work on drafting that chapter that needs to be added, because like I said, apparently there's a chapter that needs to be rewritten even though I thought I was done with that. Sitting outside during the sunset was really, really lovely. Kind of helps me calm down a little bit, which was really nice. It was just like the perfect temperature. It was so peaceful. It was just like a really great environment or atmosphere maybe. And I don't know how much I wrote yet. It's like a mini legal pad and I haven't typed up these words yet, but I did 3 pages on my mini legal pad, which honestly is probably gonna be like 200 or 300 words. I mean, like without showing you guys, like it's a decent enough amount of words, but I kind of don't want to type these up. I'm gonna try using dictation on my phone, just in like the notes app, and I'm just gonna read this off and hope it gets me close enough. Okay, 400 words, that's not bad. That also means that 400 words is where I'm sitting at 9:06 p.m. for Wednesday. Do I wish I was further? Yes. Was it really nice writing by hand outside? Yes. I also know that I need to be nice to myself. There was a lot of mental stuff going on today. And honestly, being at 400 words, is still very solid. I got some more work done and now it's 10:50 p.m. I just turned on the oven because that's now working to make some chocolate chip cookies. And I think my goal for tonight is to hit 2,000 words because then I think I'll be like roughly halfway through. That's not true. Yes, it is. Yeah, half of 25,000 would be 12,500. So if I can do roughly 2,000 words tonight, that will still be like a huge success. So that's what I'm shooting for. The little boost of chocolate always helps. So I am feeling better now. That's the game plan. Let's get into it. I'm now at 840 words and I think my cookies are ready. It's now 1:48 in the morning. My eyes are tired. I just finished up this chapter that I was working on writing because it has completely changed. So we could either call it rewriting because it is taking the place of an old chapter and it's one character doing something instead of two characters doing something. And I had gotten like 1,000 words into that and I was kind of like running out of things to say. And so then I went ahead and read her next two chapters, which were not long chapters by any means. I think it was a total of like 1,800 words, but I ended up reading through those and essentially deleting most of each of those chapters, but I did pull over the lines that I liked into a notes document. And then I went back to that chapter that I was working on and I added those back in to bulk up that chapter a little bit. And now that I'm looking at my chapter list that still needs to be done before I'm, finished with editing the ending, rewriting the ending apparently, because I have not gotten away from that. She supposedly only has one more chapter. With the writing and rewriting, I think that will probably end up being 2, just to round that out a little bit more. It could be 1 if the 1 chapter is done well, but in theory, 1 to 2 chapters that I will get to write over the next couple days. I did start brainstorming for that though, and so hopefully that will be relatively easy to slide into in the next day or 2. Today's Wednesday. My friend gets here on Saturday. I am really worried with the rewriting that I'm doing, that I'm not going to finish this before she lands Saturday evening, which I'm trying to tell myself is not the end of the world, but it would feel so freaking good if I was able to get this done. But even considering that I had therapy and a lot of very overwhelmed feelings today, I was still able to get a lot done. And so again, I'm just trying to stay nice to myself. And I think that adding up my totals will make me feel a little bit better. How I'm going to count my writing tonight is that I wrote 1,043 new words and that I edited 1,863 words in those 2 chapters that I kind of cut out and then added things back in. So the 1,043 words is the number of words that I counted before I started putting those pieces back in, which is then what? 2,906 words done. I will need to rewrite some of that, so this doesn't totally count. It does count, but it isn't technically, I don't know, this gets weird. I'm gonna say I did 2,906 words tonight and I just have to write another chapter. Oh, it never ends. But considering that it's almost 2 in the morning, I need to go to bed so that I can start writing hopefully earlier tomorrow. I do want to go to the gym, so maybe I try to write for 30 minutes to an hour before I leave for the gym, just to really kickstart my day, and then I can come back to it later in the afternoon/evening. And I ended up working on Project DE for 2 hours and 5 minutes tonight, which on any other day is a lot for me. So I do feel better looking at those numbers. That means that so far for the 3 days that I've been working on this, I am currently sitting at 9 hours and 45 minutes and 1,574 words written and edited. I am well on my way to the end of this effing draft. I'm so ready to be done. Don't get me wrong, I'm having a lot of fun with this, but I'm also so ready to be done. Happy Thursday. We are off to a great start. It is just about 1 o'clock. I have been up for a couple hours. I did some work and I just finished working on a chapter, which means that I have already edited 1,664 words for the day. Where I started with my editing today was, we're gonna go back to this gesture. I started working on one of those chapters and the way that it's phrased actually does work if I just want to keep this portion of this chapter, but not this part. So we're hopefully moving in the right direction with that. I do feel really good having 1,600 words done for the day already. And it's, 12:58 p.m. I'm about to get ready and go to the gym, and then just more editing later today. I have been sick of how much I've scrolled the last several weeks, like just how much time I just have to be on social media and not creating on social media. And let me tell you what, I feel like my attention span is getting longer with my goal of trying to edit my freaking book for like 3 or 4 hours a day, because that just like significantly cuts down on the amount of time that I can scroll. And even when I'm scrolling, I am able to like tap out of it, and I'm able to tell myself like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, I should be working on my book. And I feel like my attention span is getting longer, and I'm scrolling a little bit less. And I know it's only been like 3 or 4 days, but it still feels really good. I just got out of the sauna. I'm very pink, but that was my last day at this gym. I will be getting a different gym membership after my birthday, which I'm looking forward to. But my workout went really well, and now we're headed back. I'm just wrapping up my writing outside, and I think I'm now at 2,700 words for the day, so we're making good progress, and now it's time to go make dinner. I'm feeling much better than I was yesterday. It's now 10:40 p.m. This lighting, terrible. I just finished the first pass of another chapter, which is like 1,700 words long, but this is one of the chapters that I'm going to have to add new words into, and so I'm going to count the 1,700, and I do think that I can use a good chunk of that. I'm going to count those as the edited words, and then I will also be, drafting and adding new words. If I didn't already say the time, it's 10:40. And so I've been working on that chapter for the last 40 minutes. I'm going to stand up, move around, do a productive break for the next 20 minutes, and then sit back down again at 11 and keep going. Okay, so it's currently 12:34 a.m. and there's going to be some rewriting. Not right this second, but at some point, theoretically, over the next 2 days, there will be some rewriting that needs to take place. Just because, situations have changed and stuff, and I didn't fully realize that. And I'm just like a little worried about the amount of time that it takes me to write stuff as opposed to the amount of time that it takes me to edit stuff. Because I still really want to finish by Saturday, and tonight is Thursday. And right now it's, technically Friday morning, but Thursday night for all intensive purposes. I am getting close, at least it looks like I'm getting close on the page count to the end. But I know that will include some rewriting. I'm getting like so close though, like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I did edit a couple of chapters tonight. I did edit a couple of scenes tonight that I'm able to keep like portions of the scene, and I just need to like make some changes in rewriting for the rest of it to just like bring it up to date, because again, the story has changed multiple points throughout all of these drafts, and even in like drafts 4 and 5, I didn't make it all the way to the ending. So this ending is how it stood in draft 3, and so it's even like older than what I was expecting, which is fair, honestly, because I haven't touched this since draft 3. I'm kind of torn about whether or not I want to keep going tonight, because it is 12:30, and I do want to be able to do a lot of writing tomorrow, and I kind of just want to have a snack and like veg and watch a YouTube video or something before going to bed, which is probably what I should do. I'm currently sitting at 5,474 words edited today and 171 words written. And what's the time? 3 hours and 40 minutes working on Project DE tonight, or today technically, because I did get started before I went to the gym, which felt really impressive. And I feel like as I'm going, my word count is getting less and less accurate because I'm needing to like add and write things. But in theory, I'm gonna add up my word count so far towards that 25,000 word goal, which is what I thought I had left to edit. Wow, okay, apparently I'm at 19,271 words edited, which is crazy, and I do feel like I'm like rapidly approaching the end. I have been skipping around a little bit, and so this isn't like super accurate, but supposedly the chapter that I just finished working on, which again, I will need to go up and like add another chapter in, but theoretically, I'm on page 431 of 449. I think they're double spaced pages, and we're currently at 125,000 words, which means, well, I have been deleting stuff, so I can't even say that like my word count has gone down all that much, but at least it's not at 130 anymore, or maybe at least it's not right this second. This is gonna be such a long video, I'm just realizing that, but hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I'm enjoying the progress that I'm making. I feel like I'm very quickly like catapulting towards the end, which feels great after working on this book and this draft for so long. So on theme with the title of these vlogs, let's just keep moving towards finishing this effing draft. It's Friday. And you know what that means? I might be finishing my book tomorrow, which is absolutely insane. And I have social plans this evening, so I'm gonna try and stay on top of my writing as possible today. I also still need to do a little bit more cleaning around my apartment, and I need to pack before my friend gets here. I also need to do a little bit more cleaning around my apartment and pack before my friend gets here, and potentially run an errand. And I'm really trying to not have those things stress me out. But I think the best course of action to remove myself from my space and the other things that I have to do is to go somewhere else and write. So we're gonna head to the library. I just got back from the library. I was there for like an hour and a half, and I finished one of the chapters that I needed to like round out with some new rewriting or some new writing or whatever you want to call it. But I finished that chapter. I read through the rest of it. I think it like flows really well now. I'm very happy with where that was sitting. So that was a nice breaking point for me to come home. I think I need to head out here in a few minutes and run some errands, but I'm very happy to have that part finished for the day. Not like all of my writing or anything, just like that one chapter is done. It's now Saturday, as in the Saturday that I want to finish draft 6 of my book. I was able to write like 800-ish words yesterday. That's all I'm going to count for yesterday, because even though I did go over the rest of the chapter that I was adding those words into, I had already counted those words for editing for the day before. So even though I was closer to like 2,400, including those words, I'd already counted them, so I'm not going to count for yesterday. So that brings us to today, March 23rd. It is currently 12:50 in the afternoon, and my friend gets in 7 hours. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to the library because that has been working really well, and I'm just gonna try and get as much done as I possibly can. I do feel like I could finish this today, but it is going to take a significant amount of time of me just like sitting and working on it. A couple nights ago, I did come up with a good transition that will take place between the newer ending chapters that I was writing for one of the POVs and the ending, and I figured out where I want basically that rewritten chapter, basically those rewritten chapters to like cut off for the ending. You can hear my dishes running in the background. And so I think I basically just need to write that in theory and then edit like the 5,000 or 6,000 words that I have left, which, as the last week has shown, is possible. I just need to get started. Okay, so I got hungry, so I left the library, but when I was at the library for like an hour and a half, I got 1,700 words done, which means, I don't even know what that means. That means that I have roughly 2,600 words left, and it is 5 p.m. So I have 3 hours before my friend gets here. Do we think that I can get 2,500 words done in the next 3 hours? I think I can. It's like really starting to set in, and I'm getting so excited. It's 5:30. I'm gonna get up and take a productive break, but I have one chapter left, and then I'm done with draft 6. I'm so excited. I don't know why I was so worried about finishing this today. I will be able to finish this just fine, and everything's gonna be great, and then I'm gonna get to take next week off for my birthday. I'm gonna have just like such a natural break between drafts and my time off and getting to go hiking. This is all like panning out really, really well, and I'm very excited. Part of me is like, oh, I should just keep going, but it's like roughly 2,000 more words that I need to finish draft 6. And like every other chapter that I've been doing for draft 6, I go over my chapters twice. So basically I'll be going over a 2,000 word chapter twice, so it'll be like 4,000 words. So I do want to get up, take a break, do a little bit of cleaning before my friend gets here, finish this chapter. Maybe I make dinner and then finish this chapter. Something like that. But I have, again, like 2.5 hours until my friend gets here. This is all working out like so perfectly. I'm so excited. My friend lands in an hour and 10 minutes, so let's finish the effing draft. Let's go. I finished the effing draft. I can like feel the excitement like bubbling up inside of me. It's like slowly rising. We're like right about here right now. I'm done with draft 6. Oh my gosh. And I think my friend literally lands in like 2 minutes. I finished the effing draft. I can't believe this. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, this draft took forever, but it's done. And I'm gonna drop my computer. I need to put that down. I finished. I don't even know the word count. I know that it was over 25,000 words this week. I'll put it on the screen because I don't want to count it right now. But I finished the effing draft, and I finished it in the week. I hit a deadline that I set for myself. Oh, instead of just it being like a rolling deadline and me not getting to it until after my birthday, I finished the effing draft. I did it. It's done. It's a freaking book. Like, it is a fully fledged book now. Like, I feel confident in the content. It is good. I think it's good. I'm so excited to reread it as a reader and really just focusing on pulling out like extraneous sentences and trying to cut down the word count a little bit because I think that's important actually. Let's check the final word count for draft 6. 126,754 words. So it does still need to come down a little bit. But that's for draft 7 because draft 6 is freaking done. Okay, we're gonna bring back a little something from my writing a book in 30 days videos. Woo! Yes! Yes! Oh, my downstairs neighbor's gonna hate me. I finished the book. I finished the draft. Yay! Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh. Oh, that feels so good. And now I get to take my birthday week away from writing between drafts. I'm only going to be doing a little bit of work when I'm on vacation. I feel really good. That's gonna feel like even better. This like could not be more perfect. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, seeing end of book 1, oh, gets me every time. Gets me every time. It's way better than like the end of book 1. At least in my draft. I don't know what that will be when it's published because we're moving towards that. Oh my gosh, draft 6 is done. And when I get back from my trip, I get to read it as a reader. And I'm so excited. I love these characters. I love the story. Oh, this is so exciting. Oh, wow. I finished the effing draft.